Hey, this is Victor Antonio. I'm recording this video specifically for my Facebook friend, Wayne Lilly. He wrote me this email this morning, or I guess Facebook text this messaging rather, and it said, Victor, good morning. I hope all is well. I will make this as brief as possible. I know that you are very busy. I am. I am currently working through and leading a small group of team leaders through the John Maxwell's 21 Laws book. We each have a task, and I challenge them to step out of their comfort zone. Well, I am doing what I asked them, and that is reaching out to you in this fashion. I have not had any mentor or coach, but look to your media and teachings as a surrogate. Appreciate that. One of our tasks is to reach out and interview someone we admire as a leader. Thank you. Victor, if you have time, I would be honored, grateful, and humbled if you would answer a few questions. Should you not be able to, Victor, I completely understand, but they are as follows. So here are the 6 questions that Wayne has asked me, and I will do my best to answer them. Wayne. 1. What made you decide to enter into the field in which you are successful? Question mark. With a big parentheses afterwards with a note saying, I've seen you present 2 times at the Plexus event, so I recall some of your stories, but a quick synopsis, especially since I am sharing with my team, would be truly appreciated. So choose. If you want the story behind the story of how I became a speaker, I have a documentary called The Motivator. It's free online on YouTube, so just type in Victor Antonio, The Motivator, and that really tells you the whole story of how I left corporate America to do my thing, and it explains the thing also, but I left, phone call, hold on one second, and so it basically talks about why I left corporate America. And the reason I left corporate America was I just wanted to do something I wanted to do. I got to a point in my life where I wanted to write books. I wanted to reach back into the schools, the communities, and really talk to other people, students, about success and how do you become successful and how do you make it on your own. So do watch the movie. 2, who were some of your mentors? Who were some of your mentors? Zig Ziglar was the inspiration for me to become a speaker. If you've not heard of Zig Ziglar, where have you been? Zig Ziglar is a sales motivation speaker. First time I saw him speak was in '95, I think. I was in Minnesota. We got some free tickets to go see speakers, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. And so when I saw Zig Ziglar on stage, I was like, wow. And after that, I joined Toastmasters, an organization where you learn how to speak. So if you want to be a good speaker, and you should always try to be a good speaker, join Toastmasters. And from there, I just really started building my speaking career, and I haven't looked back since. Love my career, like, truly. What 5 books, this is question number 3, what 5 books have made the biggest impact on your success and leadership? Ooh, Wayne, that's a tough one. Let me just start out with, I'm going to answer it my way. I say books that have shifted my paradigm as opposed to success or leadership. When I read Ayn Rand, the philosopher Ayn Rand, the founder of the philosophy of objectivism, she has one of the most famous books called Atlas Shrugged, another book called Fountainhead. The philosophy of Ayn Rand of objectivism really helped me put success in its proper context. And there's no way to explain it in this small video, but if you're into reading fiction, read Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. It's a big book, but in there she embeds her philosophy and tells a story at the same time. So Ayn Rand, any book by Ayn Rand would be good. I think the first book I read was called For the New Intellectual. That was the first Ayn Rand book I read. By the way, spelled A-Y-N, Rand, R-A-N-D. Other books, I love all of Ogmandino's book. Very spiritual, very uplifting. The Greatest Miracle in the World is one of my favorites. So that has always been like a spiritual book, spiritual series. So anything by Ogmandino. I met him once before he died, so that was like a great honor for me. In terms of sales and motivation, Zig Ziglar, as I mentioned, I've always liked Mac Hannon's Consultative Selling. I think it's one of the best books ever written on sales, even though it was written like 30 years ago, 30 plus. And I think Neil Rackham, anything written by Neil Rackham, who I think is like the godfather of, sales training and research. Neil Rackham wrote Spin Selling, so these are good books if you want to learn how to sell. So, and to round off all those I've just mentioned, probably anything by Michael Porter on marketing would be great. So that's my answer to question number 3. Number 4, what daily learning or self-improvement habits do you have? I'm an avid reader, so I try to read 2 or 3 books a month. What I do is I pretty much read like maybe 5 to 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes every morning. or try to find time to do it every morning. I'm not going to be here and say I do it every morning. Sometimes I do skip it, but sometimes when I do skip it, it's because what I do a lot is I have a big board in my office, yeah, and I just write ideas. And so sometimes reading a book helps me like generate ideas, right? So, and I come up with new ways of thinking about things or maybe new strategies. So I would recommend to anybody, read at least 5 to 15 minutes every morning. And if you don't have 15 minutes, just read 5. That's all you have. Just 5 minutes every day will get the juices going. And I know we live in a busy world where we're all running around, but anybody can find 5 minutes. Okay, what are some of your, number 5, what are some of your greatest challenges you faced as a leader? The biggest challenge is what every leader faces, and that is hoping that you're right when you make the hard decisions. I'll just leave it at that. Leaders have to make bigger decisions. The big decisions leaders make impact more people and can also impact the bottom line in a great way. So the decision leaders make are always one of those that they're heavily weighted, because you're always asking, are you doing the right thing? You can have all the information, but at the end of the day, you're always asking yourself, is this the right thing to do? And between here, your head, and your heart lies the answer that comes out through here. And so that's the toughest challenge of being a leader, is making the hard calls. Last question, 6. What is the best piece of advice that you would have for someone who aspires to be an effective leader? That's an easy one. Be authentic. Well, maybe it's 2. One is be educated, be smart. That's why I get back to reading. Read a lot so you know a lot. But at the end of the day, be authentic in your leadership style. Be who you are. Talk how you are. Be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be a canned suit. Just try to be who you are. Try to let that flow through you. In other words, read a lot, absorb a lot of information, listen to other people, and then push that information through you, who you are. Do not change who you are. Because once you become inauthentic, in other words, you're not being who you truly are, then people won't buy into what you're saying. So again, authenticity to me is the core of being a great leader. And obviously having, knowing where to go, what you're going to do, and what the direction is, strategic plans, all that matters. But if you don't know who you are, you'll always get lost. How's that? Well, and then last, he closes out, Wayne Lilly closes out by saying, again, Victor, I'm grateful, thank you, and I say to you, Wayne Lilly, you're very welcome. Now, I got to go grab that call that came in just 5 minutes ago. Take care.